Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today we are going to take a trip to Nicaragua. Not literally, of course, but today I am going to be speaking with Hank Holcomb, and Hank was an attendee at Pulpit Fest 2024, and Hank was fortunate enough to win a trip to the Puro Sabor Nicaraguan Cigar Festival, courtesy of Villiger Cigars. Rene Castaneda, the president of Villiger North America, you know, he very graciously brought a trip to the Puro Sabor to be raffled off at Pulpit Fest, and Hank was the lucky recipient of this trip, and you know, he's been looking forward to it. And I told him when he won, I'm like, dude, I want to hear all about the trip when you get back. And so I sat down with Hank, and we had a long conversation where we heard all about his trip. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'm a little jealous. But anyway, we're just going to jump right into the interview, and I will catch you guys on the other side of that. And we are joined by Hank Holcomb, who Hank, you were the winner of the trip to the Puro Sabor Festival in Nicaragua, courtesy of Villiger Cigars at Pulpit Fest. How the hell you doing?
Oh, fantastic. Couldn't be better. I want to thank, first off and everything, the Pulpit Fest and the Pulpit family, Ken, everybody at Ashenell, but especially Rainier and his crew at Villiger. And, the Villiger crew in Nicaragua was, just over the top. I can't thank everybody enough for everything that they provide me, a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Renee desperately wanted to be on this episode with the two of us to talk about your trip and everything. But ironically, he's in Nicaragua. So, it just didn't time out right. But yeah, so I got to hear all about this because the Puro Sabor Festival, for everyone who's listening, tell us, like, 30,000 foot level, what is the Puro Sabor Festival?
So it's a celebration in Nicaragua for all the cigar manufacturers and the fanboys and people in the industry. They come together. This was the 12th year they've done it.
Okay.
It was about 120, 125 registered participants like myself from all over the world. You had them from Europe, the UK. There was a Russian contingency there, people from Australia, Canada, and all across the United States. So it was a big cross mix of people. There was people that worked for cigar companies that were on the tour just to get a insight to other manufacturers. And then there was people like, media people from, Half Wheel, Cigar Snob, and Cigar Journal and stuff like that also participated in it. But the majority of the bulk of the people were people like myself that were, going to visit the facilities and, participate in the activities for the first time.
But there were only about 125 of you?
That is correct.
Wow. So this is a fairly limited little event then. Nice and private.
It's not like the big event in Dominican Republic. So it's a nice, cozy group for, say, they had broke up into 8 different groups and everything. So you're not, piling on top of people. So when you got into a facility, you actually could see something and maneuver around everything and, have a good opportunity to see stuff instead of, being stuck at the back of a group of 40 or 50 people and not hear what was going on.
Very cool. Very cool. It dawned on me. I'm so anxious to talk to you that I didn't fire up my cigar, so I'm gonna do that now real quick. Unfortunately, Hank is coming to us from a hotel room, so he gets to sit and watch me smoke this. And it sucks to be you, Hank. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I was looking forward to the premature cut and light with you.
Yeah, but
the great state of California has laws on smoking indoors and everything. So.
Boo. Well, anyway, in honor of your trip, I figured it would only be appropriate for me to be firing up the Villiger 1888 Nicaragua. I have it 6x50 Toro featuring an Ecuadorian wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Nicaraguan and Pennsylvania filler. And I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. It's time to cut the cigar. And the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So please go to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. Remember, there's that little comment box on the screen for when you're buying your cigars. Tell them that I sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. With that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. It was a good cut. It was right next to the microphone. It didn't, yeah, that came out really well. Anyway, full disclosure for everybody listening to this, Hank, he's been back for a week, about a week, right at a week now.
Yeah, I got back Sunday. I had some issues and everything, so I got home Sunday morning, 11:30.
Oh, issues, like travel issues?
Oh, yeah, I had travel issues going and coming back.
We'll get to that in a minute, too. Yeah. But you got a little bit of the international funk. And so we put this off. And the way it put off is it put me now post returning from TPE. So for those of you listening to this in the future, you would have heard my TPE recap episode on Tuesday. So, it's timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly at this point, but yeah, I'm sitting here and I just realized this is the first cigar that I will have fired up since being in Vegas. I have not had a cigar since I left Vegas, and did surprisingly less smoking in Vegas than you would think, but that's a tale for another episode. But I'm going to fire this guy up now, which means it's time to listen to the greatest commercial that you've ever heard.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame. Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused. I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat. Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars use authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard. Yeah.
So under normal circumstances, I would have been kind of all right, I'm ready for this to wrap it up because it's a long commercial. But but I don't know, Hank, if you noticed, I was having some issues in my lighter there. I must have somehow turned down the flame wheel on this thing to where it was just sparking but not going, and I'm like, what's going on? So I'm about half that time of that commercial, I was trying to get my lighter going, but we're good.
I thought it was maybe had a fluid there. So
no, I actually topped off the fluid before coming out to the garage, specifically because I had this thing out in Vegas and didn't know how much fluid was left in it, and so I figured top it off and start fresh. But no, I had the wheel turned down somehow. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. So let's get into your trip. So you won at Pulpit Fest. Kind of what are some of the things you had to do to prep and get ready to go to Nicaragua?
I do a lot of traveling in third world countries, so I really didn't have a lot that out of the ordinary for that. So
okay,
just basic trying to figure out the weather down there and the clothes to wear. And they had some events that required certain attire and everything. So I had to make sure I had that pack, which, normally you might not take and everything.
Yeah. What was the
I took
weather like?
What's that?
What was the weather like?
Uh, and the first couple days, it was probably close to 90.
Oh, shit.
Yep. And it
Okay.
got down cold at night. It got to 72.
It's like I'm happy because it's going to be 70 in St. Louis tomorrow as a high, and I'm like, yes, thank you. So
Then we went to Esteli. It was in the lower 80s in Esteli, and then at night it got down in the lower 60s and everything. So the weather was nice.
High humidity.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yes, of course, you're dealing
Well,
with.
I guess that's true. So we're more in the winter, so they would be more summertime right now.
It was the
Okay.
summertime down there.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so it was warm and everything else. So just make sure that I take some Cipro with me, which is for traveler diarrhea, just in case, because you never know when you get that. But I'm pretty cautious of knowing what not to eat and what to eat when we can get in that a little bit later. I
am curious about
my
the
thoughts
food.
known to some of the people, but they didn't take heed to it, so they had a little Montezuma's revenge.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I call it Cheerios revenge because anytime I eat original recipe OG yellow box Cheerios, within 4 hours I have to find a bathroom.
That's not good.
I mean, dude, Honey Nut doesn't do it. None of the others do. Original recipe Cheerios, it's Cheerios revenge, man. It just tears me up. Anyway, I have to bring in this. This is the pulpit side of it all.
That's right.
Exactly. So, all right. So you're kind of used to the environment just in general. So let's get into the travel. So you departed and went down to Nicaragua, but you had some travel issues.
Yeah. So I don't typically sleep real well the night I travel internationally because issues and stuff. So I rolled over in the night a little bit early and everything, and there was a text message from American Airlines advising me my flight has been canceled.
Oh, shit.
So I get in the app then and see that I've been rescheduled for a flight that now departs about 35 or 4 minutes earlier than what my previous flight was.
Okay, so at least they got you on something. They didn't just say you're canceled. Now you're in the wind.
Yeah, so it was due to ice and snow and everything in the Philadelphia area. So about a 3-hour drive for me there.
Yeah.
The airport. Get there and they had rerouted me through Orlando, then to Miami to Nicaragua.
You could have stopped in Orlando and said, hey to Tramac while you were there.
Well, the problem was I had 9 minutes once I landed there.
Oh, shit.
To get off the plane and gets to my next gate and everything. Luckily it was 2 gates away.
That's lucky. So I was just about to say, I hate that. One of my worst travel experiences was going to Vegas, ironically, not for a TPE, but it was the second or third time I went, and it was for fun. But I was going, and I had a connection in Denver, and the Denver airport, I'm sure you've been, it's huge. It's a massive facility. And my plane leaving St. Louis was late getting out. So by the time we got to Denver, I had minutes. And of course, my gate was clear on the other side of the facility. And so my now ex-wife had to run to get to that gate to tell her, hey, there's 2 guys coming up behind me that are on this plane as well. They just can't run because I am built for comfort, not for speed. And so that was the most amount of running I've done in a very, very long time. And that sucked so much. So no, I understand that problem, but yeah, man, that sucks. So, but you made the flight in Orlando.
Yep. I made the flight in Orlando, and then the flight to Miami, we get there. I had an excessive amount of time there. I had 29 minutes this time to get the flight to Nicaragua.
Boy, they were cutting you close, just every step of the way, weren't they?
But they got me there. So got in there, and we arrived in Nicaragua and everything. And
talk about that process, because like going through landing, going through customs, going through security and everything in Nicaragua.
Well, so got there, and they had some signs up for the people from the cigar festival, and then everybody got in the customs line, and the customs line was going about an hour and a half or 2 hours, but they then pulled us out separately from the customs and ran us through customs immigration separately than everyone else. So,
Man, so the Nicaraguan Cigar Festival was, you guys were like high rollers.
oh yeah, so that saved quite a bit of time because a
Nice.
couple of the guys there when we were getting our passport stamped and have to pay the tax coming into the country and everything were complaining that they had been in line for almost 2 hours, and we kind of shot to a separate line in front of everybody else. So yeah.
That's funny. Oh, just retrohaled, and I probably, oh my God, I haven't done that in a couple days, and man, that just reminded me that this cigar, it's got some spice to it when you push it through the nostrils like that. It's like, man, yeah, you gotta remember that. Anyway, I'm sorry. So,
Oh, that's okay, especially the box press one. That's even more there with a little bit more spice.
That one made my personal top 10 of the year. I don't know if you listened to that episode or not, but that one made my personal top 10 of the year because that box press version of this, there's just a little something extra to it, and it's like, oh, that's a tasty damn cigar.
Yeah, I listened to that. Actually, I listened to 3 of your episodes because there was a lot of bus time down there transporting. So you got to listen to something. So you should have a couple downloads from Nicaragua in your portfolio now.
All right. So, so how long was the bus ride from where you landed to where you had to be?
Well, the first night, the first drive was, I don't know, probably by the time we got everybody on the bus and that. Maybe 45 minutes to an hour to
that's not so bad.
Granada.
Okay.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, traffic a little bit, here and there and stuff like that. Then we went to the Central Hotel there where they did everybody out from, where you were going and everything. So you went in and registered. They gave you your a box of cigars and everything.
Okay.
Really nice box of cigars from every manufacturer that was participating in the festival.
Whoa. Wait a minute. You got a box of cigars from every manufacturer that was participating in the festival?
That is correct. And the box I'll have to send you a picture of it. The box looked like it was blue and it looks like it's metal. It's made out of wood, but
back up. I'm sorry. So it's one box that had
cigar. No, it's not for every. No, it's one box.
I'm like, dude, did you walk out of there with like 600 cigars or something like that?
I came home with 100. I came home with 108 cigars.
That's not a bad haul. That's
real. Most people were coming home with 68 to 70, but that doesn't count the. I felt like Ed Sullivan when I was there. Smoking 10 cigars a day most of the days.
There you go.
8 on a bad day, but when you get up real early in the morning and you go to bed real late at night, you have a lot of smoking time. So,
all right. So let me clarify. There was one box of cigars, and within that box, there was what? Maybe one cigar per manufacturer.
That is correct. So you had
okay.
Yep.
Now I'm clear.
I didn't. No,
dude. I'm like, damn, you lucked. You hit the money. Okay.
Now my suitcase looked like I was a smuggler smuggling cigars out of the country, but not that bad. I would have had to go out like some of these people and buy more suitcases and stuff.
Okay.
At that point.
Okay, so you got
they gave you your tags
nice
and everything to put on your luggage for the different hotels you were staying at. Gave you a really nice shirt and 2 cigars there for when you're waiting in line and when you're first there. So they gave I got a Rocky Patel Emerald, and then there's this Victor Cavallero CD, and everything. So smoking there and having cocktails with everybody, getting to know everybody as they were arranging, people getting, and then also they gave us a white shirt when everybody's registering. So after they got that, then they started breaking people up in the groups of the different hotels you were going to, so you could get back, get unpacked, and then head over for dinner that night.
Okay. So you enjoyed your hotel? Like what?
Yeah, the hotel there I had it was a nice facility. They obviously you couldn't smoke in the room, but they had a little balcony, and then it had a center courtyard area with a swimming pool where you could smoke at. So that was
I'm
real
okay. I'm okay with not smoking in the room. Like I know people that have got smoking rooms and out of TP and various and I've before and everything. I'm fine if my room has a balcony and I could shut the door, sit out on the balcony and smoke and whatnot. Obviously, you're not doing that in Vegas because there's shootings and suicides, but neither here nor there. But like I have had rooms with balconies before, and that's nice. But I wouldn't want to smoke in there's just something about the idea of smoking and then sleeping in the bed in the same room that like I was just smoking. It's like I like to separate the two, but that's I mean, I assumed they would probably be very cigar smoker friendly outside of your,
Oh
like you
yeah,
said, they've
you
got
could
this
smoke.
courtyard or whatever.
Yeah, you can smoke anywhere, and I feel the
Mm,
same way. I won't smoke in a hotel room either.
no,
I've only done that one time in my life, and that was in Liberia, and it was because the room smelled so bad
you had to get
that
something out.
that you had to. When the walls outside the hotel say "Do not pee pee here" all over the place, you're in for a treat.
Okay. So they gave you a nice white shirt. Was there a white party?
Yep. The next last night was a
Okay.
white party, and
All right. Well,
let
we'll
me
get to
tell you,
that then.
Spanish women in white clothing have always been a weak spot for me, and I don't know where the cigar people bring in the women, but let me tell you what, it's a 10 out of 10. Trey Mack would have been himself.
Excellent. Okay, so let's back up though to the first. Now, just to clarify, just so that I know, how many days and nights were you there?
So we arrived on Monday and
Okay.
then departed Saturday afternoon.
Oh, that's a good long time. So that's what, 5 days,
Yep,
five,
five
no,
days.
6 days,
Uh,
5 nights.
yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yep, the first day, is people coming in. There was some people that came in Sunday night and stayed on their own other places, but the majority of the people came in on Monday.
Okay.
And they transferred us over to the hotel. So Monday was just arrivals and get together and registration and dinner that night, which was great. So they gave us some more cigars and everything. I have to take some notes here. So
Oh, I'm
you
glad you
know
did.
that first night dinner and everything, they gave us a Padron 1926. But
Man.
the best part was Steve Saka was handing out the Red Meat Lovers Club one.
Okay.
He hasn't released yet, a new one.
Oh, look at you.
So he was there. He came around, sat at the table, spoke with me and two other gentlemen for quite a while and everything. So we had a good conversation about all kinds of things, including cigars and everything.
Okay.
It was a
Okay.
great night.
So how was it like? Because you went on your own. Some of these people probably are going down with like a buddy or something like that, but like you went on your own, correct? So like,
Yeah, that's
I
correct.
mean, you had to be social, I guess, in order to like, talk with people. And I have no like thoughts that you would have a problem with that. But like, how was it going to Nicaragua to this thing and like on your own, not knowing anybody?
Yeah, you're right. There was a lot of groups. There was a group of guys that had retired from Washington D.C. and Boston area that lived in Naples, Florida. So they had a big group together. But yeah, I know I meet people, talk to people. So I met a few different guys that we kind of hung around with. Some guy from Pittsburgh and Connecticut and a couple other locations. So you kind of find some people that you kind of hang out with. The nice thing
Yeah.
about the guys were all on different groups, so we could compare notes at lunchtime and dinner of what they seen and what they did compared to what I did and everything.
Okay. Okay. Sounds cool. So then what was for dinner on that first night?
Rice, a lot of rice.
A lot of rice.
Yeah, the Nicaraguans eat about 100 pounds of rice per person, so
Okay.
it was
Okay.
rice, pork, and beef.
Okay.
Yep, and some salad, which in third world countries, I do not partake in salad or uncooked stuff.
Yeah.
And, also don't brush my teeth with tap water. So,
Uh-huh.
that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that was good dinner there, and that's what we had.
There
Yeah,
you go. Hence avoiding the Montezuma's revenge.
that's correct. 'Cause
I got you.
the
Okay.
industry, what I'm in, I know what they irrigate with because that's what I do for a living.
I get it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
that was Monday. You
yep,
came
that was
in,
Monday.
got going. So let's hit the ground on Tuesday. What's Tuesday look like?
Tuesday it wasn't cigar. It was more cultural. So they took us out to everything's in the morning early. So you get a hotel. At the hotel that you're at, you have breakfast. Again, breakfast consisted of a couple eggs, rice, and red beans,
Okay.
a little piece of cheese, and coffee. So
That sounds
coffee
very
is
nice,
fantastic.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nicaraguan coffee is fantastic. I'm a big coffee person, so that helped.
Okay.
And then they loaded us on buses and took us out to Lake Nicaragua for the day. So we spent the day cruising on Lake Nicaragua, and then they had a little private island there where they had lunch and music and stuff. And we spent, two-ish hours there and everything. Uh,
Okay.
the only bad part is when we got to the boat, by the time our bus got there, they were handing out Villiger 1888s and some other cigars, and they ran out of cigars.
Ah, damn.
So no cigars for the boat ride, but Karen Berger was there, and she had given me. I got one of her cigars, the Decay Fire,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which they gave out on the island again. But she had stepped up and gave out some additional ones she had in her purse. So
Some
that
spares. Okay.
that,
Well,
that made the trip nice out there. So
that's good. That's good. Well, that sucks. They ran out of cigars, though.
yeah, the cigar festival. Yeah, it was. Some of the older, grumpier guys were kind of complaining about it, but
I
you
get it.
have that.
Well, and to be fair, you won your ticket. This is not a cheap date to go to this thing. Like,
No, it's not.
for the people that were paying for it, admittedly it was not a cheap date. So, I could see where maybe they were a little grumpy that they paid however much to go and they missed out on what they perceived as something they were owed. But at the same time, shit happens. Move on.
Well, we'll get into the grumpiness of them later on. It
Oh,
escalated later on in the trip.
All right. You're good. You're good at the teases. I like this. Okay. So you take the boat back.
Yeah, so we're out of the island, and I had the world's worst drink in my life out there. The
Uh-oh.
rum and the beer flowed freely all week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they have this national drink. I don't know what it is, and the guy from Connecticut, Larry, said, "Here, you need to try this. It's a really good drink."
Okay.
And it was the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth in my life. It was horrible. It was a mixture of some kind of spices that they make,
Yeah.
beer, tomato juice, and
Oh no.
I'm not a Bloody Mary fan, but
Nah, me neither.
and it was just horrible.
Mm.
Nothing against people that like it, but it just did not tickle my palate at all.
Okay. Okay.
So after the festivities on the island and everything, they loaded us back on the boat and everything, and took us back into town. Did a little sightseeing on the boat on the way in. It was extremely hot there, so key to anyone that's thinking of going to this festival at any time is locate where the sun is when you sit on the boats or the buses because
Ah.
it's hot and intense.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was a warm boat ride back on the sunny side of the boat. Let me tell you that.
Okay. Okay. So then when you got back, at that point,
Loaded us up back in the buses as we were watching the Nicaraguan military launch all their boats into Lake Nicaragua.
so okay. So that brings up an obvious question that I'm just going to ask. I'm just going to be point blank and direct with it. So, the Nicaraguan government is not one that, excuse me, I am, like a thing for Klimt. There we go. Right as I'm talking about the Nicaraguan government. They're not exactly the same as ours. Damn. Okay. Did you feel safe?
Yeah, like I said, I do a lot of traveling in not so well places in the world. So, Yeah, the only time I really ever seen any, they kind of,
Yeah.
you got to know where to go, what not to do, in your free time when you go. You just got to watch where you go and everything. Really, the only time that I even
Stick with the
seen it,
group kind of deal.
yeah, well, you had a little bit of time on your own too and stuff, and
Okay.
especially waiting on buses, and they give you a little free time at the end to walk around town. But like I said, I never seen any, all the events and everything. There was security there, obviously, but the only time was Friday night. It must be the big night in Esteli because so that was the only night I seen security at my hotel.
Okay.
Was out in front of it, but any other time they didn't see anything. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's good because I'll admit, that's something that I'm sure some people that maybe would be looking at a trip like this might say like, oh, I don't know. It's is it safe? Is it good to go? That kind of thing. So but that's good to know that it wasn't
Yeah,
bad.
I don't think they want to lose anybody from the festival, the bad publicity and stuff
Oh,
like
for
that.
sure. Not. No, no,
But
no, no, no.
when you get people that want to wander off on their own in different spots, and you just have to use your common sense and everything, which unfortunately not everybody has. But
A lot of people don't. So yeah, anyway.
yeah, so yeah, so
Okay.
it
Okay.
wasn't bad. I didn't, like I said, I wasn't
Okay.
looking over my shoulder like I have in other countries and everything like that.
Good to know. Good to know. So okay. So then you had dinner, that evening after you got back?
Yep.
Or
Again,
was there something in the middle there that I missed? I'm sorry.
no, that was dinner when we got back and everything. So again, they provide us some more cigars. Excuse me, I got to go back. I smoked so many cigars. I got to look at some notes and everything. Not that I'm rubbing it in and everything.
No, no, no. I like that you
So
tracked it. That's good.
yeah. So we had the Roma craft. They gave us that. I can't even pronounce it. The Massa Straza. It's a
Sure.
50 ring gauge one. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and
Yeah,
then
I'm not
also a CAO cigar and everything. And then
okay.
we had a Don Pepe Garcia cigar. So we had three
Okay.
cigars that night at
All
dinner. And
right.
again, dinner was a combination of, chicken and pork. They had unknown fish, and salad and everything. And
Yeah.
the nice thing that night was it was at a well, for we're nuns. I'm lost for words. So it was like a nunnery that at one time for a convent.
Oh,
Yeah,
convent. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
it was at a convent, and the convent was from like the 1500s,
Wow.
and they had statues and stuff that they had recovered from pre-Columbus on display there. So it was a
Wow.
gorgeous facility. Just the history of the building was fantastic.
Yeah.
And also Florida Caña, the rum people had rolled in barrels of rum, so they were actually dipping the rum out of the barrels for you and pouring it into your snifter.
Oh, that's cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
And then like I said, dinner was great. I want to thank to Rainier for letting me know about me and my 20 friends. So we actually had a really good time thanks to his input on that. So it made everything smooth flow a lot easier at dinner time every night from then on.
That's good. That's good. So okay, so that was Tuesday. So then now you've gotten a little bit of the culture, you've had some cigars, but now we're into Wednesday. So what is
Yep. So
Wednesday
Wednesday
bring?
again, early morning, you get up and get your breakfast. Have your pre-morning cigar there and everything before everything gets going.
Yeah.
And now they pick you up and put you on the buses. Now it's the long drive. It's a 3.5 hour drive to Esteli. Uh,
Okay.
Luckily,
Okay.
part way there, we stopped at Victor Calavero
Okay.
Farms, and we had lunch there. So
Now how many
kind of broke the trip up and everything.
that's nice because a 3.5 hour bus ride would be kind of brutal.
Yes.
Um how many brands did you like encounter for the first time on this trip?
There was probably 5 or 6 different ones, that I that encountered, and there was a lot of ones that I hadn't smoked because a lot of the stuff was stuff that hasn't been released yet,
Okay.
or is not in the market, or stuff that they're working on and everything else like that. So
Yeah.
I'll get into a little bit of that when we get into my Villiger tour of their facility there. So
Okay.
yeah, so
So you stopped. You had lunch.
yep.
And
Again, more cigars. So you get there, and it was in their cigar. It was out there in their barns and everything where they're curing all their tobacco and everything. And you get off the bus, and they provide us some more cigars and everything. And yeah, it was a really nice lunch. Again, pork and salad.
yeah.
and
Well,
beef and
they
everything.
sound like really good, but I don't mean to maybe be. Or were they simple meals, or were they like
No, it was
very
elaborate. It's
elaborately
whatever. Oh, yeah, what
done
you
up?
wanted. So
Okay.
actually, here they cooked the whole pork and everything with the crispy skin on it and everything.
Oh,
And,
so they did like a pig roast.
oh yeah, so that was
Oh,
the little Cajun wooden boxes that they cooked them in
yeah.
that. Obviously a lot of people didn't realize it, but myself and a couple other guys did, is because I've done it before, is that crispy skin off of the pig there, it just crisps up and everything, like
Yeah.
that was the best part of the whole thing.
All right.
Yeah, they had a little
Okay.
traffic jam getting in there. A bulldozer on a truck, kind of got stuck coming out of there. So we had a little bit of issues, but it's that's part of the journey. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, very cool.
and
So
then
you got
then
back on
there
the
they
bus.
broke us up from the big buses. They got us on our little buses there and everything,
Mhm.
and we actually then got to go to our first cigar factory and everything that day.
Okay. All right. So then, did you have choices as to where you could go, or was it just kind of like
No,
you're
so you
you're
had
go-
a
you're
so
going
you
where
had
you're
a
going?
you had a group that you were in, and your group was assigned to what cigar factories you were visiting that week.
Okay.
It's not like some of these other cigar festivals, like the one in Dominican Republic, where you can actually pick. So
Okay.
whatever track you on, those are the cigar factories you went to.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'll go into that a little bit more here. I did a little bit of wheeling and dealing to get mine switched around and everything. So
Well, go ahead and get into it now, because we're talking about the factories. So
yeah,
like,
well, let me go in. So that day, let me finish up on this first, and then
Okay,
we'll
okay.
what will happen the next morning.
sounds good.
So we went to Placencia,
Oh, very cool.
and Nestor gave us the tour,
Mhm.
and we started out at his worm farm.
His worm farm.
His worm farm. So
Okay.
so they actually do a lot of organic farming there. So they actually have these concrete vessels and everything built, and they lay them, some of the, leftover, crop stuff, stems, everything else in there, extra leaves, stuff they don't use. And then they put worms on top of it. And then as the worms eat it up, they'll lay another layer of material on until these concrete areas get completely full up. And they have
Okay.
the microscope out showing us the microbes and everything else that's working on that. And then from there, they take it out and they'll put it out in the compost piles.
Okay.
And, they just like typical compost. They, put the thermometers on it, take the temperature of it, and rotate it and everything. And then they field applicate it out to their the fields and everything. And of course,
Okay.
when you get there, they give you a Placencia cigar when you're doing all this.
Well, that's nice.
Oh yeah, definitely nice.
Yeah.
Then from there, he took us over to his fields and the barns and everything, and the crew was there. We were a little late getting there from lunch and everything. Took a little bit longer and everything, so we were a little late there and everything to the tour.
The
So
bulldozer.
the workers were waiting to go home, but he kept them there for us and everything, and we went through everything. Nothing but a gentleman, and went through the fields and everything else, and then they loaded us back up in the buses and took us over to the factory.
Okay.
So at the factory, we were met with all the school children from the school there.
Okay.
So the little kids are out front there with signs and welcoming everybody and doing a little dance and everything. And then they came around with little gifts for everybody. So they gave you a keychain where the student actually drew a little picture on that and put their name in the back of it and everything. And then some candy they made, they gave it to us before the tour.
Nice.
And again, more cigars.
Yeah.
So So then we took a tour of his facility, went inside, and we went into the sorting room where they were sorting all the tobacco. We've seen the rolling room. We've seen where they're storing everything, the storage facilities. You know, every process that they do. We went into the aging rooms in there and seen all the cigars, and then we went back into his super secret room where we were instructed not to take any pictures and not to do anything. So that's where he has all the special stuff that he's working on, and
you took a picture for me, right?
Unfortunately not. So, like I said, Ness was nothing but a gentleman, so I
get it.
definitely wouldn't have done that.
I'm teasing you. I get it. So, well, that's cool. You got to see the inside secret sauce
back in there. So getting to see that, and just seeing the rows and rows of cigars that they had stored there. And then they took us over to the packing area after that, so we got to see them putting everything on.
Did you see the molds for the 6-sided?
Oh, yes. Yeah, he had a discussion on that. So he had a big display. I have to send you a picture of that of that. And they've worked real hard on getting it to that 6-sided.
Yeah.
Originally, they'd ship a lot of them, and when they got to Miami, they would be round, and so they've perfected that. And I enjoy that cigar, and they had a wall of them there, and I was very envious and drooling on that part.
Yoink. Yep. I get it.
They took us over the packing area, and we seen them packing everything from their special year of the snake cigar to everything special, and they make for the United States and European market and everything. And then the surprise of the event then was after that, they had a cocktail party there for everybody.
That's nice.
Oh, with hors d'oeuvres, and they again had the people from Florida Caña there pouring the rum out of the barrel.
Man,
they were smoking it with tobacco leaves. So I have a video of that where they're actually, putting the tobacco leaves and smoking your rum when you're drinking it and everything.
Yeah.
And then they took us into, sitting there and talking and everything, and they had passed a hat around and everything to support the school children and everything, which was fantastic. Everybody was more than enough generous on that. And then they took pictures the whole time, and then gave you a little swag bag and everything with your name on it. So
wow,
a small box of cigars, not a full box. So a T-shirt.
Hey, look, they're Plasencia cigars that you're being given. That is a-okay.
Me too.
Right there.
So,
I do love me some Plasencia. I don't smoke a lot of them, mainly just due to the price point. But when I do, they're always very, very good.
They were fantastic. So, especially there. And there was other, little items in there and everything else. So all kinds of stuff.
Very cool.
And then, they took pictures of everybody inside of their little lounge there. They have a lounge there, and of course, all the cigar people have these. Cigar lounges with all kinds of alcohol in it and everything else like that. Every one of them. So they did, and unfortunately, they had to rush us off because everybody in our group wanted to spend the rest of the day there. Oh, and they had a mariachi band playing and stuff.
Wow. No wonder everybody wanted to spend the rest of the day there.
But the tour guide was forcing us to get out of there. So they also gave us a little diploma that had a QR code, which they were taking pictures the whole time we were there and video, and the QR code then would be a link to all those pictures, so everybody had access to the pictures from them being.
That's good. So, well, cool. So then, after you left there, what you do?
Back to the hotel.
3.5 hour ride back to the hotel.
It was we were down because it was like 45 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour after lunch to get to to Plasencia.
Okay.
So it was probably half hour, 20 minutes to my hotel. And
well, yeah, but you went. Are you in a different hotel in Esteli now?
Oh yes, so we changed. Yeah. In Esteli, yeah.
Okay.
In Esteli, so they broke everybody up in different hotels.
Okay, that's what I was confused about, because you said it was a 3.5 hour bus ride.
Oh no! It took us to Esteli.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So, my hotel was really nice. It used to be an old cigar factory, so it must have been after the cigar boom. It it crashed and burned or something, but it was a real nice hotel. some of the other people had issues at their hotel with losing power.
Oh
They blew a
no,
transformer, and then they lost power multiple times during the last couple days there.
that would kind
And
of
then they
suck.
had the automatic defibrillator in the shower.
Oh God.
I think that was for the older guys. They had that. So what it was that I've seen it in other places of the world, but not like they explained it there. The shower head had electrical wires running to it, and some of them had wire nuts on those electrical wires. And the it was a instant hot water heater on the end of the shower head
Okay.
inside the shower. So I guess that didn't work real well. So I was happy my hotel didn't have that.
That doesn't sound like that would be safe in any way, shape, or form.
Some of the guys had concerns on it and everything, but
I would. I mean, you're mixing water and electricity. Those two things
yeah,
tend to not mix well.
no.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay.
so I didn't have that. The biggest issue I had was I got once we got out of Granada, into Esteli, again, like I said, third world country. I had a lukewarm shower one of the days. All the rest of them were, cool to say. And
Yeah.
the water pressure has something to be desired, but again, I know better. I screw the shower head and kind of use it like a hose because half the
Yeah.
problems the shower heads get clogged up.
Ah, that's a good point. And also, a cool shower, if it's in the 90s during the day, maybe probably isn't, and humid as hell, probably isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay.
so again, off to dinner and everything. Dinner was great there and everything. Again, more cigars and everything else. Uh,
Okay.
was at the dinner was the PENSA factory.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Eric Newman and Newman Cigars were the hosts that night.
Oh, very cool.
Unfortunately, we got a little rain that night, and it was an outdoor event, like everything
Oh,
there. So it got a little wet and everything. But got to smoke some good cigars. They had a little bit of different cigars for everybody. Uh, most everybody got the International Supreme Leaf.
ooh.
Yeah, that was nice. And then the Brick House,
Yeah.
which I got, and then a lot of the guys got a Foundation cigar, but my pack had the Perdomo 10th anniversary champagne.
There you go.
Oh,
Can't go wrong
so
with that.
I was very happy with that. So
I say you can't go wrong with that.
yep.
So
So all again, the drinking and the food and the people coming. Now at this point in time, a lot of your cigar manufacturers from Esteli, so everybody there at the event, and they're bringing their wife or their significant other, people from the factory. So this group of now 120, 125 have now grown to 200 or 300 people at the dinner and everything.
very cool.
Yeah. Yep. So, late nights again. So back to the hotel on the buses, get up again for an early morning one. And, I was a little lacking on their part of what my itinerary was. They didn't have anything. And then with Villiger's office staff had registered me. So I really didn't know what I was seeing on the next day.
Yeah.
So I had emailed Rainier's office, the lady that had set up my tickets. Well, she was out on vacation, and Rainier, emailed me back, tell me that my group definitely was going to go to see Villiger that day and everything in the afternoon. And I actually ran into the Felix Wandenhorst. I'm butchering his name. He's the European brand ambassador for Villiger. He was staying at my hotel.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I seen this little thing on that, and I talked to him and everything. Well, come to find out is that my group was supposed to go that afternoon, and the afternoon tours were you see two cigar factories and not spend a lot of time there. And
Okay.
in the morning, you got 3 hours at a factory. Well,
So
being that Villiger, paid for everything.
I was
And
like, you're there because of Villiger. Yeah.
So I went and wheeled and dealed with the tour guides and everything. So I wound up jumping on the group that went to Villiger that morning, so I could spend the whole morning in Villiger.
Yeah.
So we got to Villiger, and first thing there, we get off the bus, and the first thing you see the outside of the facility, and it just looks state of the art. You can tell by looking at the outside of the European influence and everything from the Germans and the Swiss and everything is just at the everything is just to the T like you see when you go to Europe.
Very cool.
So
it's a new facility. I mean,
I
believe it only opened in 22.
Yeah, it's not been open very long.
I was to say, I believe it was only 2022 that they opened. So yeah, it's a fairly new facility.
Oh yeah, it's a gorgeous facility. So they gave us a nice new cigar that hasn't been released yet. The El Capitan. So
look at that. What is the name of that?
El Capitan.
El Capitan. All right.
So that's a new one. It's supposed to be released. I can talk about that one here in the United States in the beginning. So actually, I know it hasn't been released because I was texting with Ken today, and he has some cigars for me there that I purchased, some Villiger ones.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if he had that yet, but he hadn't. So
okay.
We'll have to wait on that. So they had that and coffee and everything, and gave us a history of a Villiger cigar, a video. Felix presented an overview of Heinrich Villiger and the family and cigars and everything they do and everything, and them being the Habanos distributor for Europe and everything, and pictures of Heinrich Villiger with Fidel Castro and everything else smoking cigars. So
interesting.
Yep. So after that, providing us more cigars now for the tour, and pardon me, we got to go out and see the facility. So saying that it was the most cleanest facility I've ever been in is an understatement.
Really?
The other factories, are clean, but to the state of the art their facility is, from the HVAC to the fire suppression to everything. Like I said, you can tell the Europeans were involved in that, and I guess Hoya had something to do with some of the design and stuff and helping that, but everything was just done. Like I said, I would have no fear of eating anything off the floor in their facility.
Wow. Wow. That's impressive. And, fire suppression is a really big deal for these factories because, let's be real, they're full of a bunch of dry combustible material. So, it's like, hey, let's light this on fire. It's like my garage with all my reading material and various boxes of stuff out here. It's like, yeah, if my house goes up, my garage is going to be like that. But anyway.
They actually, to the point is, most of these people, a lot of their aging rooms and stuff, and where they store certain tobaccos and everything, are just humongous, rooms and everything. They actually, did it to the point where their rooms are smaller, where they're storing a lot of stuff, just because of that issue, in case they would have a fire.
Keep it contained.
Contained to a smaller room.
Interesting.
So, they're gentlemen, and it was such a whirlwind, and I still got a little bit of a head from the cold and everything. So it's a little tough. I don't remember the two gentlemen's name that did the tour. The head of the facility there that came over from Hoya, and his number 2 guy, and they were fantastic. So they were so fantastic to the point is they were the guys on this group that I jumped over with.
Yeah.
The one gentleman has done over 25 factory tours and have been to the Cigar Festival and then there 3 or 4 times, and Pro Cigar and other ones. And they said that the gentleman there at Villiger did the best tour they've ever seen in all the years.
Wow, that's impressive.
That he had knocked it out of the park. Like I said, these guys have been things all over. So it was fantastic. After we seen the facility there, then they have a nice little outdoor area, and then they provided some 1888 cigars for us, and then they did a port wine tasting.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm not a port wine guy, but The Felix from Germany led the tasting with the 10-year port and everything, and it paired very nicely. So I was really impressed with the port and the sampling with that and everything. So yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, I'm really glad you got to spend a lot of quality time in Villiger because, like I said, I know, that this trip was the a very generous prize, donated by Renee, and it's good that I would have hated to think that you got shifted into a group where you went to Villiger, but maybe you only got like a quick tour, So
Oh
that's
yeah, it was.
really good.
Yeah, the 3 hour. I was glad that I did that because like I said, the other tour would have been about an hour and a half and everything. That wasn't nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
So then during the tour there, towards the end, just before their number two guy pulls me aside and everything, and takes me over in the one room there and everything, and gives me besides everybody got a small box of Villiger cigars. They
Yeah.
gave you a small bottle of rum, some lighters, a pen, and some other tchotchke stuff. But then they also gave me another box of it was called Villiger. It was their limited. It was their edition for the 2024.
Okay.
It was 10 cigars in that, and
The TAA? No, no,
oh
no.
well, not really.
No. It wasn't the
I
TAA.
had that also, but
Oh, okay.
there was in there, and he told me,
Oh,
this
it
is
was
really nice.
one of the numbered ones. They
Uh,
had
there
some
was some of
numbered.
that in there too.
Oh my
But
God.
again, it was ones that I wasn't allowed to take pictures of.
Oh,
He
okay.
advised me that there's ones in here that haven't been released and are special ones. Don't take any pictures of them and post them anywhere. But I can. I suppose it's okay with Rainier. I can share them with you and
I was
everything.
gonna say I got to see these before. We'll do that off air. We'll do that
Yeah,
off
and then there was
air.
two little small boxes of five each that they also gave me for some other stuff they had. So, like I said, they were nothing but generous and everything else. So,
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. So that was how you started your day. From there, where did you go from there?
then we went to Placencia for lunch.
Well, you went back to Placencia?
For lunch at their facility, yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, so they had a big thing there. You get off the bus there at Placencia's little area there out front there, and again gives you another Placencia cigar. So,
Man, you're smoking good on this trip.
oh yeah, definitely.
Villigers
So
and Placencias and
yeah,
everything.
so again, more food, more drinks, and everything, and so that was really good and everything. So then after that, let me gotta go back to my notes. You got to pardon me here. So.
No, no, no. Feel
Like
free.
I said, it was just so much going on, and
I'm actually glad you thought to take notes because, truthfully, on a trip like this, if I'd have been in your shoes and not taken notes, I don't know how I'd have kept it all straight.
okay. So after lunch and everything, then we went over to Romacraft.
Okay.
So we went over there at Romacraft and everything, and uh, let me tell you, you know, they're a completely different operation than what everybody else does. And Skip there is so passionate about cigars and the people in Nicaragua, and way he treats his employees. Everybody treats their employees great down there at the facility.
Yeah.
You can actually hear the passion in his voice of how he you know endears his people that work for him and everything else like that. Uh, the other thing is we had 102 references to spaghetti sauce at his facility. So look out in the future for the release of the Roma Craft spaghetti sauce. So coming to a store near you soon. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, so that was a very interesting facility. We got to see everything there.
As in actual spaghetti sauce or a cigar named spaghetti sauce?
No, actually, spaghetti sauce. That's his hobby. So,
Okay.
but cigars started out as his hobby too, and that went into this. He used to be a nuclear engineer on a sub and everything. So
Oh, okay.
we went from nuclear engineering to cigars. So
And now spaghetti
now maybe
sauce.
he'll go to spaghetti sauce. But he said that's a hobby. But like I said, cigars was a hobby for him too at one time.
You
And
know,
everything.
there's Newman's Own. It could be Skip's Own.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly right.
there you go.
Or
I love it.
at the next cigar event they have somewhere, it's instead of the buy five get two free, you buy five or you buy a box and you get a jar of spaghetti sauce and everything.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So
So
yeah. So that was the afternoon and everything. We went back and that was the white party night.
okay, okay. So wait, so you went to Placencia for lunch,
Yep. And
and
then
then
after that we went to the
Roma Craft.
Yep. And that was it that afternoon. And
I
everything. It
thought
was
you were
supposed to be
supposed to go to
Yeah,
two of them, but
the other one fell through that we were supposed to go to.
oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of story behind that we can talk about at a future time and everything. But no,
Okay,
so
okay.
yeah,
But you had the white party that evening.
oh yeah, what a fantastic party. Yeah, so I kind of ducked out 11 o'clock. All these early mornings and smoking cigars, but I guess a lot of people closed it down at 1 o'clock, and then they also
Wow.
proceeded to head over to one of the local casinos.
Okay.
The party moved for over there, and the stories from that were interesting that took place there. But I'm glad that I went back to my room and relaxed and everything.
Got a little debaucherous, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess they did. So,
Uh-oh. Nothing like a group of foreigners coming in and just, getting debaucherous at a casino,
yeah. So, then well, yeah. And
Okay.
just remember the phrase "casual Thursday" there, and we'll talk about that later.
Oh man. Okay. All right then. Well,
So
now
yeah, the white party was great and everything.
and for those people listening that maybe don't know what a white party is.
So everybody's dressed in white.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I brought clothes because I knew that was going to take place, but they provided you a shirt at the beginning of the event and everything. With
If you didn't have
logoed up
something.
and everything, a nice white shirt. So everybody had a white shirt. So yeah, so it's everybody's dressed to the T's, women, gentlemen, everything. White shirts, white pants, people in white suits,
Wow.
everything white and everything.
Did you break out the white tux?
No, I didn't break out the white stuff. So
Okay.
a little warm for that.
A little warm for that. I could see that.
Yeah. So
So okay, so the white party was Thursday night. So then that brings us now to Friday.
yep, Friday. So Friday, we only went to one cigar factory in the morning,
Okay.
Oliva.
Okay.
So we get there, and the white party was at their facility the night before, outside. So gorgeous facility.
So they're still cleaning up when you get there.
Yeah, there was people pulling stuff away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get there and they have breakfast for us and cigars.
Well, it's nice.
Yep. So breakfast was your choice of a tortilla soup or a beef soup, and they actually put the stuff in there for you, and they had coffee and alcoholic drinks and everything, and all that, and to start your day out and everything. And then they gave you a little gift bag, and everything. It was a travel humidor with 5 of their cigars in it.
Okay.
A little leather carrying with 3 cigars with the nubs in it.
Okay.
Some of their tchotchke stuff and everything else too, like everybody else did.
Yeah.
And then after we had the opportunity to have the breakfast and talk and everything else, and then we started on their tour. This was the only tour at the beginning of they would not let us smoke at.
Okay.
They took us into the Palones, and they took us into the aging room and the sorting and everything where they did. And it's a gigantic room, all different ones, and that's the only place that during the whole tour, besides your hotel room and the big buses, that you couldn't smoke.
Okay. Okay.
it was a fire issue and everything. Why?
I would say you can understand that.
Yep.
So yeah.
So we did the tour there and everything and learned a lot and everything. Some of the stuff that we spoke about earlier and everything. Then loaded back up in the bus and everything, and they took us over to the rolling factory. And
Okay.
again, there they provided cigars, so we could smoke inside the facility in there. And we went into the sorting room and everything, and then we went in there where they're putting everything there, and then we walked into the rolling room. And
Okay.
Nick, they had 450 pairs of rollers
Wow.
in that room. And again, like all the
That's
other
900 people.
yeah, 450 sets, and it was
Wow.
unbelievable. And it's just like everybody else. The most senior people are right up front,
Yeah.
and then it works all the way back to the newbies in the back that are learning how to roll cigars and everything.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you're seeing these people in the factories and they're rolling and putting it together, how many of them are smoking?
None,
None.
never, and that was surprised me. None of them were smoking in the facility.
Because you hear stories, like you hear about like the underground, for example. The whole story behind that was, the employees were smoking the ligas and they didn't want them smoking the ligas anymore, so they gave them, did this, and the underground became what the factory smokers or workers would smoke. And you hear about I've heard stories about the rollers and how they make the real small little guys, just make real small thin little guys that they would smoke, and then that way they could smoke them while they're working and everything, and they'd be light and they could keep them in their mouth and they wouldn't have to take them out and put them down and all that. But you don't see any of that, huh?
No, I don't know how they had time. So
Wow.
the one girl roller there at Villiger,
Yeah.
God, she was knocking them out left and right. So
Good for
the
her.
other group next to her, she was probably doing two to every one of theirs. She was just knocking cigars out. So they don't
All
have
right. Well,
time to smoke.
Renee, you need to find out who that was, and you need to figure out how she's kicking everybody else's ass and get them going
My
like she
God,
is.
she was. Her with blue pants on. I got a picture. She was just knocking the cigars out left and right.
Wow.
The quality and the quality of it. But I don't know how they would have time because these guys are in all the factories there. They're just there, and working with both hands. The girls are, rolling left-handed and right-handed. It depends on what they're doing. So they're in the Bucciolero guys. They're making the bunches and doing everything. So I don't know how you would have a time to smoke a cigar, let alone the way these guys are knocking the cigars out.
I don't know if they talk to you about it at all, but like it's always been my understanding that like with a lot of these rollers and stuff, they're essentially paid by the cigar. They're like kind of they have their numbers and they have to. It's the more they do, the better they get paid. And all that.
Yeah,
So
some factories are like that now. Roma Craft doesn't do it that way.
Okay.
No, they don't do it. Theirs is totally different. But as Skip said, if the person messes up on one cigar, now they owe him two cigars.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so they're a little bit different. But yeah, most people, that's how they get paid. You're right.
So
what they're putting out in production. But
so why take time out to sit? Yeah, why take time out to sit and smoke when you could be making money? Yeah.
So and they're knocking them out. So at the Leva facility there, we asked the guy what they were producing, and he said they're producing about 150,000 cigars a day.
Wow.
So which I thought was unbelievable also.
That is.
Until dinner that night when I was talking to the gentleman from Connecticut who had gone to Drew Estate, and Drew Estate told them they were doing about 300,000 cigars at their facility a day.
Well, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, there's some companies are bigger than others, so yeah, I could definitely see that. Interesting. Well, very cool.
So then after we spent the afternoon there and everything else, the highlight of that day, besides that, was they have their own little lounge there at the facility, a VIP lounge.
Yeah.
So we got to go in there and have cocktails in there. And, the primaries from Oliva came in and, talked to us and everything. while we're having cocktails and cigars in their VIP lounge and everything. So
Nice.
what a gorgeous facility. Then loaded everybody up and everything, and off we went to AJ's facility for lunch.
Okay. Okay.
So we got a Brazilian, AJ's Brazilian cigar for lunch there. Uh,
Oh, the New World.
yeah, well, no, it's a what exactly? Like I said, I have to get a note. Uh, yeah, pardon the interruption here,
Oh,
but
you're fine. I'm
so
down
we
to
went
the.
there and we did that, and here we go. Dasa de Gloria Brasilia Toro.
Oh, okay. 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 I don't think I've had the Brazilian version, but
It was very
yeah.
good.
Okay.
And lunch, again, it was, the pork, chicken, rice, and everything. But the really nice thing was Flor de Caña, who was a sponsor of that.
Were they scooping rum again?
Yeah, they were definitely. But then
Yeah.
they brought around and brought you a special snifter of their rum that they told you
Okay.
not to drink. They had a
Oh.
really nice band playing, and during the event, then their brand ambassador for Nicaragua, young lady, came up on stage and did a rum tasting with everybody. Then did their rum tasting using all your five senses. So you actually, looked at the color of it. They actually had you pour some in your palm of your hand and rub it in
Yeah.
show that it wasn't sticky because they don't use any additional sugars in their rum.
Oh, okay.
So, if you do with other rums that they're saying, they get sticky and that, so you do that. Uh, the smelling of it and then the sound, and you're wondering, well, how can you hear rum and everything? Well, the rum was just everybody toasting and clinking glasses together and everything.
Ah,
Oh
okay.
yeah,
Okay. Clever. Clever.
that
Okay.
was a very nice opportunity there and everything. So lunch ran on a little bit longer there, and then that was the night of the formal night. So they gave everybody an opportunity then to walk around Esteli, do some shopping. Some of the people got dropped off at the soccer stadium because they wanted to buy some stuff for that. People had to be dropped off because they wanted to needed to buy additional luggage,
Oh, yeah.
take stuff back.
Too much swag.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So we went back to our hotel and then had some cigars in the courtyard and kind of rehashed the week myself and the gentleman from Pittsburgh and stuff like that. So yeah,
Very cool. Very cool.
they run a tight ship on stuff, but it's like we say when we work in the islands on island time. So sometimes their tight ships run a little bit late and everything. So they told us we had to be downstairs by 6:30 to get the bus there, and I was down there plenty early, and actually there was a bus that came by early and picked myself up and a couple from the UK and that. So they took us to the facility, and the event that night was at their soccer stadium outside.
Oh, okay.
And we actually got there before the event started. So
Well,
we get in, they didn't even have cigars yet for us. So they told us to, got us a drink. And me and my 20 friends sat down at the one table there. And I was sitting there probably 10 or 15 minutes, had a drink. They told me, the cigars would be real soon and everything. And the gentleman then brought my cigars over and everything because of me and my 20 friends. And then I proceeded to get kicked off of my table.
what?
Yeah, so they informed me that was supposed to be the reserve table for Placencia. So I
Okay.
was required to, pardon me, I was required to move to another table, which
Okay.
was
Okay.
fine and everything.
Yeah.
So, and this night is formal to the T. So, suit and tie, I wore, and everybody's wearing suit and ties or, something that of fashion. Women are in evening gowns and everything else. So, it is definitely, formal as can be that night.
Okay. Okay.
Food again, excellent.
I was gonna say I got to know about the food at this then.
Oh yeah, but again, it was a really nice fillet, uh, fish, chicken. Again, of course, rice. The dessert was really good. It was some kind of mango dessert, and they had a kind of
Ooh.
another phlegm type of thing, which is like a Cuban dessert that I get a lot in Miami and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fantastic, and everybody that's anybody in the cigar industry, was there that night. They're playing all kinds of music, give you a nice little those Yumi packs full of 4 or 5 different cigars and everything like that in there, and one or two that I didn't know. So we sat with some gentlemen from Israel that's in the cigar business, some lady that's in the cigar business in China came by. We're talking with her. So all kinds of people.
So you
During
got a real
some people
international
from York,
flavor.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Uh, one of my group, there was actually a couple of ladies. She's the rep for Drew Estate for Texas. Uh, she was in our group. So, you get a cross section of people.
I
So
was
you
gonna
get all
say.
their experiences that they've had, and, hearing, their take of what they've seen and during the event and everything. And, that was half the enjoyment of it is comparing notes with everybody.
So what were some of the places that other groups went that you didn't get to go?
Padron.
Okay.
Let me kick up the gentleman from Connecticut had sent me. I didn't get a list of the different things, and Larry from Connecticut sent me a copy of everything. So I know this doesn't make.
No, that's all right.
Yeah. So, oh, that was the other group place I was supposed to go to instead of going to Romacraft, because I jumped group, would have been Rocky Patel's factory. So I didn't get to go there
Okay.
because I jumped group. But I was more than tickled pink that I got to spend 3 hours at Villiger. So
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
I
what
was
made it
that
worth it.
So it would have been AJ's, my father, Placencia, Hoya de Nicaragua,
Yeah.
Padron, Olivia, Drew Estates, J.C. Newman, Aganor Salif,
That would have been
Carragher,
a good one.
Padron, Placencia, like I said,
Yeah.
Scandinavian Tobacco Group.
Okay.
A group got to go to a cigar box factory, and ASP Nicaragua, which I'm not sure what that
I'm
was.
not familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there one that you didn't go to that you kind of were sitting back and you're like, I wish I would have gone to that one?
I think I would have liked to have gone to Rocky's new facility.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'll be honest with you and the viewers and everything. I'm not a big Rocky Patel fan. He makes some nice stuff. The Emerald was nice,
Yeah.
but what I heard from people, it being a relatively newer facility and everything, uh, that I'd like to go there. And especially the guys that were on the Villiger tour with me uh, had gone to Rocky's facility in Honduras last year on a tour and everything. So they spoke highly how they talked about. And then I
Okay.
would have liked to have gone to Padron,
Yeah, that would have been a nice one.
but I was more than happy with what I got.
Well, yeah,
Where I
and I
went.
and I will say probably of the list that you've named off there, if you're gonna go to if you're looking at the higher dollar, the fancy, the celebratory cigar kind of category, I would put Padron and Placencia in that list. And you went to one, you didn't go to the other, but still went to Placencia, and that sounds like it was a really nice time.
Oh, Placencia was fantastic, and
Yeah,
AJ was, and I can't complain. And Villiger, like I said, all the ones that I went to, I was more than happy.
yeah,
Like I said, those were a couple of other ones. I would have liked to have gone to them, but I was tickled pink of the ones I got to see.
perfect, excellent. So then Friday night you had the really nice dinner, kind of capped off the week, and then Saturday was traveling back.
Yep. So they had you broke up in different groups. So they take you from the small bus. So in Esteli, everything was done on these little small buses and everything, moving everybody around because the streets are really narrow
Okay.
and traffic. So they would take you to the outskirts and then put you on the big bus and then take you back to the airport.
Okay.
Like I said, that was about a 3 hour drive to the airport. So got to catch up on your other podcasts and everything on that. So another plug for the Cigar Pulpit, and then
There you go.
I listened to the number two podcast out there also. So one that does some advertising for you. I forget the name of that one.
I don't know.
So
Is that those guys out of New Hampshire?
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So that
Oh.
guy that doesn't know how to make meatballs are involved with that, isn't too,
Yeah,
isn't it?
well, I mean, let's be real. Unfortunately, that was Seth, but no, no, no,
Well, it
no.
doesn't sound like he lost by much, but I guess a vote is a vote. Depends. How
Hey, you know what? One vote made all the difference there.
But I forgot to tell you at the Friday night the gala and everything.
Yeah.
So that was actually when the meatball contest was going on and everything.
Yes, that would have been at the same time.
Yeah. So, but nobody was watching it. Steve Soccer, nobody else. They were all having a good of a time. But the Cigar Pulpit was brought up, and Cigar Pulpit Fest. So that was the talk of the night.
No.
Yes,
All
it
right,
was the talk of the night.
You're shitting me
I
here.
didn't know. I would have thought that I had a little bit of in with you guys and Ken of what was taking place this year at Pulpit Fest. So I found out about what entertainment you guys are having at Pulpit Fest. That I didn't know that you're setting up a ring outside that, and Noah is boxing 6 midgets.
Yes.
At Cigar.
You know what?
Fest.
I didn't
6 of them.
know
I
that.
could have seen 4, but he's such the man. He's going to do 6 midgets at one.
You know what? I didn't know that either. This must be something Ken was setting up that I was unaware of. I love this idea though. And now that you've put this into the world, I feel like this has to happen. I don't know how to make this happen, but
like
this has to happen.
He needs to step up to the 6, not 4 midgets at one time, but 6.
I was going to say
that was just a buzz at the night, at the floral party about the entertainment at Pulpit Fest. So
hey, you know what?
If it's a must-see entertainment, it's just going to blow the micro wrestling out of the water.
I was going to say wrestling. It's acrobatics. It's physical, but it's scripted. It's whatever. Boxing though, that's a legit fight right there. Yeah, I like it.
I just want to know: is he going to take on all idea. 6 midgets at one time, or are they going to tap in and do a roundhouse thing? As knock them out, then we're eliminating them.
Here's the thing: I just spent a lot of time with Noah, and I'm not saying this to. I mean, maybe he does have time to train between now and August, but man, I don't know. 6 at once, that might be a lot. He might have to consider like a round robin situation because. He's not the young man he used to be. I mean, he's not that he's old by any means, but he's not what he used to be. He's a little out of practice. So
kind of like Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, shit, he can't do any worse than Tyson did. Let's put it that way. But no, I love it. That's great.
So that was a big talk. Oh, and the other thing I found out, in Nicaragua. Is you've heard it was a Florida thing maybe or a Pennsylvania thing when everybody says beer 30.
Oh,
so
I've heard that, but I've never heard that's not a term.
Well, I found out what beer 30 is. So beer 30 in Nicaragua is they hand you beer at 8:30 in the morning when you're getting on the buses.
Dear God.
So beer 30 in Nicaragua is 8:30 in the morning.
Oh my! They start early there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good for them. Good for them. That's too early for me.
Yeah. The tour about so Saturday morning. It depended on what your flight was. We had guys that were leaving Esteli at 2:00 in the morning. So they basically, left the party, got back, and had to get on a bus to head back to the airport.
Oh God!
So it was anywhere from I had a 3:00 flight, 3:10 flight. So.
PM?
I'm told to be down at 8:30 in the morning for my bus.
Yeah.
I was there early, got there. They took us to the big buses, and I proceeded to sit there for an hour and 40 minutes.
Could you
Before we
smoke?
left and everything, and then off to the airport.
Could you smoke?
No, not on the big bus. Nope.
Oh, man.
To give them, give them a fair shake and everything. There was some ups and downs, and some of the people grumbling, like I said. But this was the first year for a new management company that was running everything.
So there's some kinks to be worked out.
A little bit like that. But like I said, you got to figure out that stuff when you're traveling in third world countries, and you got to give them pass on all this stuff because there's stuff out of their control, and the communication issues aren't great sometimes, but it's just part of traveling.
That's an interesting point. So as somebody like me who I can say baño and as for bathroom, like what about the language barrier? Well, how much of an issue was the language barrier?
So mine's, but like you said, I can order a beer, I can order a drink, I can get my face slapped and everything.
I can ask where the library is.
Yeah, I get a little bit more, but no, it wasn't.
And the trash
can. All
can.
the tour guides spoke English. The people in the factory did.
Yeah.
The only time that I needed anything where I couldn't communicate with anybody was at the pharmacy at the airport. I started getting congested and everything, so I wanted to get some cold pills, and she didn't speak any English, but luckily Google Translate helped me out. And if that wasn't my sister-in-law's family's from Ecuador, so that would have been the next call. But I didn't go to that.
That's a good point. I don't think about Google Translate. I guess that would be the obvious go-to for something like that. But okay.
Yeah, when I tried asking her about something for nasal congestion and sinuses, and she had no clue what I was saying. So I put it in Google Translate and handed it to her, and she was spot on giving me stuff then. Yeah.
There you go. Well, very good. So then now you had travel issues coming back too?
Yeah. So I get back into, I had a late flight coming out of Miami back into Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I have a 3-hour drive from Philadelphia because with the airports cutting back and everything after COVID, they actually closed the airport in our town.
Oh, okay.
So the best thing is drive to Philadelphia, so I don't, you come in late, you have to stay anywhere somewhere. So I got there, and I had a rental car waiting because the parking is horrendous at Philadelphia, the costs and everything, and my vehicle, the people at work needed it that week and everything, so I got a rental car, and the rental company, I don't want to give them a plug, but Avis decided to give me an EV.
Uh-oh.
So I'm 179, 180 miles from the airport. And I get a car with an 80% charge in it.
Uh-oh.
Say to the guy at the gate, I says, is this going to make it? Oh, no problem. If it's not, you can just stop at any charger and plug in. Okay.
Which is not what you want to hear.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing he didn't tell me about, and come to find out, is that EVs don't like cold weather. So
no, they don't.
As I'm going up the Pennsylvania Turnpike, I'm looking at the temperature, and the temperature is 4 degrees.
Oh God.
And the power is going down.
Yeah.
So the car tells me there's a charging station at one of the rest stops. So I stopped there on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. It's a Tesla supercharger. So I go in the trunk looking for the adapter. No adapter.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So I call them. They go, well, there should be an adapter. Call the Philadelphia airport. I said, can you transfer me? Oh, no. So I call them, and their phone doesn't work. So then I call their customer service, the roadside assistance.
Yeah.
Which is a call center in India.
Of course it is.
And they proceeded to try to tell the guy where I was and what the issue was. And after 45 minutes on the phone with him and telling him that I don't have enough to drive 39 miles, they're going to send me a tow truck out. So 2.5 hours later, they send me a tow truck.
Fuck.
And take me to a charging station. And I heard the whole history of Serbia and how they're oppressed by everybody else. So I got the political view of Serbia and then a 40-minute drive to the charger from the gentleman.
Okay.
So I get there and go to charge, and there are communication issues with the charger and the thing, so it won't charge. So I had to wait another hour before the charger came back online. Charge it enough to get home. So I left, Esteli at 8:30 was when I left my hotel, and I got home at 11:45 Sunday morning.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
But the big benefit of the trip and the highlight, which everybody at home hated me for, was I called into work one morning, and my daughter works for me, and she was grumpy because the temperature was -8 degrees.
Uh-huh.
And I was sitting outside having breakfast, and it was 74 degrees at the time. So
Just rubbing it in, huh?
yeah, I missed that. I missed that cold snap at home and everything.
Yeah. But you did bring home the funk. So
Yeah, so I was down and out.
Yeah.
As you see. So I was off work on Monday because well, as we talked, you could tell
I was gonna say we talked on Monday, and because we were like I said, we were supposed to record. That was the day before I was leaving for Vegas, and you messaged and you're like, I don't know if I can do this, and I'm like, how bad are you? You're like, call me and you make the judgment, and I did, and it was evident from the moment you picked up the phone that you were not feeling well at all.
It would have been an interesting podcast if we would have done that. So
A lot of sniffles, coughs and sniffles.
yeah, so it would have been the most entertaining. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we'd put it to the test. Which do the listeners hate more, me eating on the microphone or you snotting on the microphone?
There's a poll for next year.
There we go. We'll do the poll.
Another poll. Yeah.
Well, very good. So overall impression, like I mean, I can only assume that you're glad you went.
Oh, fantastic! It was an opportunity and everything. As I floated out to you before, and thing, I think the pulpit parishioners need to set up a group. They have opportunities at the festival. I found out where groups come together and you can go as a group and everything, and get different rates, and you could actually your group can pick the tours you go on and everything, so you stay with your group and everything. There was.
And this is associated with the Puro Sabor?
Yeah, you can. Like I said, the guys from Naples and everything. There was, I don't know, 8 or 10 guys there, and they were, they booked as a group and everything, and
okay,
they came in and they spent the time. So there's an opportunity to do that and everything. So there's something to float out there sometime.
So obviously you won this trip, courtesy of Villiger, and it's very generous to Villiger, and I can't thank them enough. But let me ask the next question, which always comes along when you're gifted something, which is, would you buy it? Like, would you do this again and actually pay for the experience?
100%.
All right. Okay.
Remember,
See,
that's
the ringing endorsement for me.
You ought to set up
a
pulpit parishioners group tour, and I'd be the first one to sign up and everything, and definitely it's worth the price of admission and everything, and just from the knowledge, and the cigars you bring back and you smoke are just secondary. Just to be able to see the facilities and interact with the people is just great.
Okay, so let me ask, have you taken farm tours before this?
No, the only thing I did a couple of the barn burner stuff that Drew Estate did.
Yeah.
Yep, they had did it in Pennsylvania when they had one, and I did one in Florida and everything. So, but not like this. And then the only factory tour I've ever been on was J.C. Newman's in Tampa.
Yeah, and I would imagine that's fairly different than what you're seeing down there.
It is completely different then. Yeah.
So then let me ask, what level of appreciation do you have for the cigars now that you've been down there, you've experienced it, you've seen all the different components? What is your level of appreciation now for the product from any company? You can talk specific companies. You can talk
so everybody does stuff a little bit different.
Yeah.
But the end results, basically the same, except, the taste and everything. But everybody has their little secret brew or secret mix that they do and everything else like that. And just the passion that the people have at all the facilities, from the workers, to the management, the production people, and the ownership and everything. That's where that's 100%. Like I said, the gentleman that gave us a tour at Villiger was just fantastic. Skip at Romacraft, his passion is just it's just fantastic. Sitting down with Steve Saka and him talking about his journey and everything, and cigars and everything like that. Just how it's just sucked these people in and everything, and it just gives you a better appreciation for that end product that you're sitting out there and sitting there and smoking, that you want to take some time now and sit there and smoke it and really think about what it took to produce that cigar, like the Nicaragua 1888, of all the that they talk about the 300 hands and everything, and I believe that's an understatement for what I've seen on this trip and everything.
Okay. So then what surprised you? Like, what was something that you saw that you were like, huh, all right. What did you have any epiphany surprise moments?
Other than what I shared with you before, but the big thing is that some of the cigars, and I'm not going to name names because that what some of the cigar factories are making cigars for other people that you really don't realize where these cigars are coming from, that they're actually coming from. You look back in there when they're packaging and you see you go, whoa, where'd that box back there comes from? It's from, I didn't know you guys did, this or that from X Y Z company and that. So there's a lot of that behind the scenes, that they're making stuff for other people.
There is a lot of that. Yeah.
Yep. So that was the biggest epiphany. And, like I said, some of the magic brew that some people do that other people don't and everything. And, how they reach the same end product is kind of like
Very cool. Very cool. Well, do you have any closing thoughts for Renee or the fine folks at Villiger that you want to express?
Again, I just want to thank them, 100%. I can't thank them enough, and I can't thank the people at Ash and Ale enough, and yourself too. So it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and you guys provided me with that, and I am 100%, glad I went and I had the opportunity to go and everything, and I wouldn't trade that experience for anything in the world.
That's awesome. Well, Hank, I am so incredibly glad you got to go. I thank you so much for the recap. I don't know what's cooking for Pulpit Fest this year in terms of, I can't, I don't want to expect that there would be another one of these trips, offered up this time. Cause, like I said, this was a generous gift from Villiger, that's all 100% up to Renee. But, in terms of, if it happens, then hopefully, the next person up maybe has an awesome experience like you. And, it sounds like a really wonderful time, and it sounds like something that any true cigar person would definitely be very much into.
Yeah, the only tip besides not eating the lettuce and not drinking the water out of the tap and everything, brush your teeth with that, is that the only the bad part that I brought away from that is that it's an event, and these factories are opening their facilities, and their people are opening their hearts to you and everything. Don't be that person and take advantage of them. Unfortunately, during the event, I seen some people that more than enough have the means to buy anything in the world they want to, and these cigar factories are providing with free things. And these guys are thinking that that means a free fall, that they can take whatever, shove it in their bags, and that's not the way. Like the guy said the first day there, I asked him if he had any tips, a gentleman from Atlanta, and he said, "Don't turn down a cigar," which is good, but
I mean, yeah, I get that, but
don't be that person that abuses it where other people now aren't going to get cigars, or that the manufacturer is going to cut back. Because there was some rumblings from people that, in years past that they provided more cigars and stuff like that, which, like I said, there's a ton of cigars that they provided, but maybe some of that was because of people in the past doing that and everything. But
Yeah.
just use some common courtesy. That's all.
Well, I think there's a difference between don't turn down a cigar versus don't be a mooch and expect, things to be handed to you left and right. It's like they're not opening their doors and saying, here, take whatever you want. They're showing you their facility and they're providing you a gift, and be respectful and be, appreciative of what you get. I mean, that's one of the things, having just come back from TPE, that episode will have come out by the time this airs. So I'll just say it. I came back with probably the fewest sample cigars this year than I have in any year prior, for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is that there were fewer cigar manufacturers and companies represented at TPE, but that's neither here nor there. But the thing is, I saw some people that were going around and trick-or-treating and just, making themselves, just being mooches about it. And, that's not my style. It's one of those things where, if somebody says, hey, do you want a cigar? My standard line was always, I'll never say no to that question. But then the next follow-up question is always, well, what do you want? And my standard answer to that is whatever you have that you wish to give me. Like I'm not gonna, I don't give preferences. I'm not ordering off a menu here. It's like I'm saying, like, if you're offering me a cigar, I will literally take whatever you wish to provide to me. And with the exception of one brand that I asked for, like 2 cigars, just specifically so I could do them on the show. That was it. That was the only time I asked for a cigar. And that it's a company that I have a relationship with, so I didn't mind, doing that, because I know I'm going to plug those cigars on the show, and they're going to get something out of it. But otherwise, yeah, no, that's not my style. And so, yeah, I came back with less this year than previous years, but I don't mind. I mean, I'm going. That's an extra benefit to going. That's not the whole point of going, and I mean, I guess for a trip like this, given the price, I mean, yeah, you kind of are expecting you're going to get cigars out of the deal, but it sounds like you got plenty. It sounds like you got the box right off the start with something from everybody.
Yep.
It sounds like at every stop that you made, you were given, samplers and selections from everybody, plus cigars to smoke at the actual event or facilities, and whatever. There were cigars at all the meals, it sounds like, for the most part. I mean, it doesn't sound like you were hurting for cigars.
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean,
especially when you're smoking 8 to 10 cigars a day.
Well, and that's the thing. You're saying you came back with 108, correct?
108 I brought back, yeah.
You brought back 108, but that doesn't count the ones that you smoked there, which if you're smoking between 8 and 10 a day down there, well, let's just say, I don't know if we're counting Monday, considering that was a lot of travel day and whatever, but like we could maybe say a little bit of maybe one, or we'll say 2. We'll give
2 or 3 on Monday. Yep.
All right, so we'll say,
and the rest of the week it was anywhere between 8 and 10 a day.
So you're looking at anywhere between 32 and 40 cigars between Tuesday and Friday, plus the 2. So you're still talking close to 150 cigars between the 108 you brought back and then what you smoked at the event or at the facility or the thing.
So, here's a small handful of cigar bands, just smoking them. So you throw them in your bag so you know what you smoked,
Yeah. So that's
there's no reason. Now, like I said, they give you the cigars, but then you have guys, they're leaving them out and they're grabbing multiple ones and that, and okay. But like I said, there just needs to be some common courtesy,
Yeah.
You have cigar lounge, etiquette. I think there needs to be a little etiquette from some of the people going on these trips. And I know a lot of people are going to burn me for it. I didn't pay for the trip, or they paying big money. But it would be the same philosophy if I would have paid for the trip, and I plan on going back again. I still wouldn't do that because it's just going to ruin it maybe for somebody in a year or two down the road where a manufacturer goes, this just doesn't work right for us.
Well, I think what it boils down to is they're being good hosts. You need to be a good guest.
Exactly.
Plain and simple. So, well, very cool. Well, good little piece of advice there to kind of tap it off at the end. So, well, Hank, thank you so much for taking time out. I really do appreciate this. I know that, it's an evening and you've dedicated a part of your evening to do this. And I really do appreciate it. And I'm glad, so incredibly glad that you had such a wonderful time.
Again, thank you. And one last thing.
Yes.
Trey Mac, there is drones in Nicaragua.
Oh. Was he saying there's not?
Well, I don't know. You guys are going to have that discussion about drones, but
oh, that's true.
There was a bunch of drones flying around in Nicaragua, especially on Lake Nicaragua. So there might have been something going on. So Trey Mac might want to dig into that.
All right. Well, I'm sure if anybody's going to do the digging at that point, it'll be Trey Mac. So very cool. Well, Hank, thank you so much for taking time out.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank Villiger, yourself, and Chanel.
And I really want to thank Hank for taking so much time out of his day to talk to me about the trip. I mean, like I said, it just sounds like such a wonderful opportunity, and I'm really glad he was able to go and take part and see everything. Sucks that he got a little sick on the way, when he got home, but I guess that's traveling and, encountering different things and, shaking hands, and it all adds up. But anyway, I'm glad he had a wonderful time. And like I said at the top of the show, now I'm even more jealous after hearing about it. So anyway, now let's go ahead and jump into some of our segments. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. Brought to you by Villiger. Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. Guys, I'm going to admit to you, I really don't have a lot for this segment, this episode, because I'm still back from Vegas and kind of getting life underneath me, getting life under control and everything again. I came back and immediately had a partial weekend with my son, which meant, plenty of we're back to Storybots. We're off of Thomas, and we're off of Dinosaur Train and Clifford, but now we're back to Storybots. But I have seen a few previews for movies, actually, that I'm really excited about. And so this recently there was a second short teaser for the new Superman movie where you got to see Superman in flight. I think the movie looks fun. I think it looks wonderful. I'm looking forward to that. That comes out, I believe, in July. And then this week the first trailer for the new Fantastic Four movie came out. I think that looks really fun. I'm looking forward to that as well. And then today, as I record this, the new trailer for another Jurassic Park movie, which I'll admit I was not even aware there was going to be a new Jurassic Park movie. This one starring Scarlett Johansson. And I guess the plot of this is they're going back to the research facility for the original Jurassic Park because they've got to get some DNA from dinosaurs in order to help cure diseases or something like that. I don't know. Bottom line is, it looks like it'll be another kind of it looks like they're going to amp up the fear factor a little bit, which I think is a good thing. Let's get them into an island where help is not immediately on the way, and there's only a limited amount of people, and there's dinosaurs running all over the place. So I'm, that'll be fun. I to some degree, I'm a little over it, but whatever. You know what? As long as it's a good time and a fun ride, I'll buy some popcorn and go see it. It'll be good for the drive-in, I guess. You know, because at some point we're going to come back into drive-in season, and I do look forward to that. So, got that going for us. Otherwise, what other entertainment have I consumed? You know, I got a lot of road or windshield time in today, and so I did catch up on the Cigar Authority. You know, they seem to have a lot of fun on their February 1st episode, just kind of goofing around and having a good time. It seemed a little looser, a little more casual than perhaps some of their other shows. And I like that. You know, obviously, if you listen to my show, you know that, while despite popular belief, I do have some show notes, I also kind of fly by the seat of my pants to an extent. So, you know, I do appreciate having a little bit of a looser show. But anyway, that was fun. But yeah, that's what I've got for this segment. So, you know, we'll just go ahead and move on to the next segment here. It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird Cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars, can't clip our wings. All right, guys, and so today we're going to hear about Ibrahim Hamato. And when he was just 10 years old, Ibrahim Hamato lost both of his upper limbs, so his arms, in a train accident. But that didn't stop him from going on to reach his goals. With his paddle in his mouth, the Egyptian father of three went on to win a silver medal at the 2013 African Para Table Tennis Tournaments. His motto was, "Nothing is impossible as long as you work hard." So, you know, despite the fact that he had no arms, he went on to win a silver medal at this table tennis championship. So, you know what? Be like Ibrahim Hamato and Blackbird Cigars, and don't let anybody clip your wings. So, coming up on the show on Tuesday, I am going to have Noah back on, and we are going to discuss his thoughts on TPE, because he had his own, you know, experience, and I'm curious, after, you know, you guys, if you listened to Tuesday's show, you heard my experience and my thoughts on it. But see, I've been there 6 years, and so it's kind of one of those things where I've seen, you know, the show and how it's evolved from 2020 to now. And so I'm curious to get his reaction and talk to him about what he thought of the show. And then after that, I have a few things in the works. I don't know the exact sequence of it yet, but you know, I do have some things working out. So we will see where we go from there. Well, because it is Friday, that means it is Pinky Fun Fact Friday. So let's hear another fun fact from Pinky.
Hey, it's your girl Pinky. Ready for a fun fact? The original The Little Mermaid, written by Hans Christian Andersen, was way darker than anyone realizes, because at the end of the story, the mermaid kills herself to obtain immortality. This has been Pinky, and I'll be back next time with more fun facts.
You know what? I think we heard that one already. I'm pretty sure we've heard that fun fact already. So you know what I'm going to do? Just because I'm like 99% sure that we've heard that one already. I don't know if we have. Maybe we haven't. But if we have, then I think I owe you another fun fact. And if we haven't, well, then you get a bonus. So, you know, my brain is not working right. So here you go. Here's a bonus fun fact, just in case I just repeated that one.
Hey, it's your girl Pinky. Ready for a fun fact? Bill Gates helped fund the creation of a machine that makes clean drinking water out of human feces. This has been Pinky, and I'll be back next time with more fun facts.
You know, he did spend a lot of time, allegedly, he spent a lot of time on the Epstein Island. So maybe Bill Gates has a feces thing. I don't know. I'm speculating. Maybe he could chalk it up to, research and development. I don't know, but yeah. So there's that. So anyway, I'm available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I'm on Facebook with the Pulpit Parishioners group. You can join in the fun there, get in on the fun, and share what you're smoking, interact with everybody. It's a good time. I'm on Twitter/X. I am on Rumble, which is very similar to YouTube. Go on over to Rumble, sign up, subscribe to the Cigar Pulpit. That way you don't miss an episode if you like the video version. I am still on YouTube for now, so you can do the same there. And then if you use Spotify, I do Spotify video, so you can watch it on Spotify as well. I do need your calls for the Ask the Pulpit episodes. So give us a call on the hotline, area code 863-874-0000. That's area code 863-874-0000. And leave a message. Just it can be anything. Doesn't have to be cigar related. It can be cigar related. It can be a question. It can be a comment. I'm always asking for stuff from you guys. Like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Just chime in. Call in and give your thoughts. And otherwise, I think that's about it. So once again, I really want to thank Hank for taking time out of his day to tell us all about his trip. Sounded like you had a very great and educational and just wonderful time. Thank you again to Renee and all the fine folks at Villiger for providing the opportunity for one of my listeners attending Pulpit Fest to go and for treating him so wonderfully. Hank had nothing but great things to say about everybody at Villiger and the factory. And so, you guys rolled out the red carpet for him, and I deeply appreciate that. And otherwise, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Stay safe and stay smoky. Take it easy, everyone.